Welcome second years for your explanation of the poem in English language. This is the last poem of your syllabus. What kind of place? It is written by Uma Parameswaram. So she is actually belonging to Madras. She was born in the year 1938. It was actually written in, you can say, to show the difference of the values or traditions, or you can say the way of living of the East and the West. She actually has completed her MA English from Nagpur University. Then she wanted to pursue further studies. So what she did is that she has completed her MA Creative Writing. It was there at that time, MA Creative Writing, and PhD from USA she has completed. She didn't study a year more. She studied it in USA, and then later on from USA she immigrated to Canada in the year 1966. And there she started teaching in the university, and after retirement also she continues to be there. Like she does not get the chance to come here. She has completely, with the family, she has immigrated to Canada. Now, even though she has, if you can check it out, she has spent more of her life in USA and in Canada. More of the age she has spent over there, but she has the roots from Madras. So Madras means Indian qualities. Now you can call it as Chennai. It has been renamed as Chennai. That is the same place. So she actually has the roots, Indian roots, and she could never forget it out, that one. So she mentioned it out, the differences in this poem, in a very better way. Now before starting the poem, let us go ahead for the background of the poem. So she has shown the clash of the cultures, like how the cultures can get, different cultures can get clashed. It happens, like Eastern culture is different when compared to the Western culture, and there is no need of demarcating only one like Eastern and Western. You can find out in India also there is a lot of difference among the cultures of the people. If you go to the eastern side, come towards the Assam and Meghalaya, Tripura, those places, Arunachal Pradesh, their way of living, food habits, their dressing habits, everything is totally different when compared to the West Bengal, which is very near to them. And West Bengal's culture, or you can say the way of living, the religious, you can say the beliefs, many things have been changed from that of the Tamil Nadu or Madras or Chennai or these sides. So it shows that there are so many differences among one country only in the culture. So obviously there is a lot of difference between the complete Eastern and the Western cultures. So there are difference of the cultures and the clashes in the cultures. There is a friction and tension. Friction means which is not smooth. So when you have the persons with the same mentality, same like there is a need to get the mental attraction. If the mentalities are same, if the way of living are same, if you likes and dislikes are same, so the life would be smooth. If it is not there, the life would have friction, like a little bit tensions should be there into the life. And I'm not talking about the couples here, I'm talking about the whole family. If the family has certain differences, maybe it can happen among the children and the parents, because both of them belong to different generations. So it may happen. So if they have the same qualities, same type of the likes and dislikes, the life could be smooth, as I said. Otherwise, the frictions and the tensions. And if you have difference in the culture, you start assuming very easily. That means you get the misunderstanding of the other person. As I think in the previous 1 or 2 classes I said that we normally judge the people by the way they dressed up. If suppose a certain modern dress person is there, if you find someone who is wearing according to you, whichever is the modern dress. If the person is wearing that modern dress or something, you would get an idea that they are very modern in outlook, they have the modern mentality, they don't believe in traditional values, they don't believe in etiquettes, manners and all. You start assuming, and these assumptions can create lot of misunderstandings. So sometimes we don't know the intentions of the people, we judge the people by their action and what we see in the people. So that is, misunderstandings are also common among the people, those who have different cultures and those who are belonging to different, you can say, areas. For like this clashes, friction and tension, misunderstandings, to avoid all these things, what do we need? We need maturity. Maturity in thoughts, maturity in behavior, maturity in your views. You should have to give the space to the other person, and the other person should also give the space to you. Space, it doesn't mean the place. It means that we should not interfere into the life of the others. Let the other person live as they want to. That is, you are giving the space, and for that space we need the maturity. We need to try to understand their situations rather than judging them immediately. And we need to be sensitive. Sensitivity also counted. If you want to avoid all these things, we need to be sensitive towards the other person. You don't know what the other person is going through. You must have seen that the person is not behaving with you properly. Maybe sometimes it happens that one of your own friend could not talk to you in the same manner how they have talked to you always. They may like absent-minded or something. So we cannot immediately judge it out that they are ignoring you, they don't want to have a talk with you, they are finding new friends, nothing like that. Maybe they are going through some of the difficult situation in the life. Maybe they are facing some troubles in the life. And you may say that why they don't ask me, why they don't share with me. So sometimes there is no need for everybody to be know about what is that happening into our life. Maybe your best friend also. Sometimes we don't want to disclose everything to another person's. So that is the space, you should give the space. Okay, let the person get calmed down, let the person adjust himself or herself, then you can continue. There is no need to poke your nose into everything of the others. And giving the space here and then understanding the situation of the person, and instead of ignoring the person, give your full support. That shows your maturity as well as the sensitivity. Understanding is also one of the, you can see, the same track we are going through. This is maturity, sensitivity and understanding. If these three things we follow, it minimizes the friction. That means it minimizes the tension between the two cultures or two different type of the people. So we have to be, all these things we have to have, then to continue our whatever our relations with the other people. Now next is generation gap. The generation gap can create the problems. If you have elders at home, elders means I'm talking about your grandparents. If you would have them at home, you must have heard from them lot of times that in our times that not happened. In our times we used to listen to our parents in that way. In our times our parents and teachers used to beat us. Have you heard this? Of course, many a times. Because, and in your times, the criteria, or you can say the scenario, has been completely changed. What does it show? That there is a generation gap. Obviously, the things, whatever they have achieved or they have learned, or whatever your parents have done, and now you are, there is a generation gaps. Your grandparents belong to a different generation, whereas your parents belong to a different generation, and you belong to a different generation, and the ones, those who are the infants and the toddlers, are belonging to a different generation. As if I'm not wrong, you people have not that much access to the mobile phones when you were very young. When you're 3-4 year old, you maybe not have used the mobile phones, that too touch screen phones. You have learned now, and the next generation coming up ones, just I said the infants and the toddlers, they can easily scroll everything, they can handle the touch screen very easy when compared to yourself, when especially when you belong to the same age. That means when you are 3 years old and you just find out the coming 3 years old, how they behave, there is a difference. This is also comes under the gap, not the complete generation, but there is a time gap. The time gap which shows that they are belonging to different era and you belong to a different era. In the same way, you must be teaching to your parents or helping your parents how to handle the touch screen phones, or to how to make the mail accounts, Gmail accounts, email accounts, whatever it is there, and how to handle different types of the apps. Maybe if they need, you are teaching them, you are helping them, not teaching actually, you are helping them to discover different things, because obviously they haven't learned all those things in their childhood, or you can say in their adolescent age. As you are learning in adolescent age, they didn't get that exposure of the phones, or you can say technology. So as the technology increases, obviously the knowledge increases. So we cannot judge it out by saying that, like, I cannot say that you are wrong, you cannot say that the younger generation is wrong. So everybody is right in their own space or in their own era. Now the poem is actually related to that, how an old woman can see the presentation, or you can say she has actually been shifted to, an old woman has been shifted, a mother you can say, has been shifted to the western country with her son. The son and has a family over there, wife and the children and all, and he has taken the mother to that place. So from eastern side, that means the mother has belonged to Indian side, she has the roots over here, and now she has been shifted to that place. So how difference she found in the culture, it was being given here. So we'll start the first stanza of the poem. Now the first, she is asking about the question which is your name of the poem. What kind of place you have brought me to, son? The mother is asking, what kind of place you brought me from my country to here, and this is what kind of place. That means she finds lot of differences into the culture and the way of living. Where the windows are always closed. Where the windows are always closed, because there is a difference in the climate of countries. Obviously in India we get you cannot say that we get the coldest seasons, or the climate could become very cold, the weather is very cold, once in a while it happened. Now in this is going on the November when winters are there, but still sometimes there is a need for us to use the fan. So the differences of climate is there, weather difference is there in eastern countries as well as the western. So there they cannot open the windows because such a chill air would come up that they cannot bear it up. They have to close the windows. But here in India you can find it out that people normally open the doors, windows, everything. They just want the fresh air and ventilation. They don't want to live in a compact places, especially the persons those who belong to an old age. So where the windows are always closed and the front door is always locked. Both the things, just now I said, front door is always locked. Because right now, if you know about the flat system and all, if you have a home also, if you have a house or a flat, whatever it may be, you would have to put the like at least latch it out. If you have to put the lock, there is a need, because you cannot keep it open for anybody to enter, because what may happen nowadays, robberies, murders, everything can happen, because we cannot trust anybody. Previously those people, they are not actually used to close their doors. It could be always open for all the people of the locality, like this side neighbor, that side neighbor, or somebody from the opposite side can come up to their homes. They visit their homes frequently, and they don't even feel like to knock the doors, because it would be always open. But right now many of the parents are working, and it is not possible to open the doors always. As I said, we cannot trust anybody. So you must have heard about that many of the persons, those who are living all alone, like the older ones, those who are elderly ones, if they are alone at home, somebody has came and just murdered them out to steal all the things from the home. So this can happen. So that's why, and even that's why we have to lock the doors. And you will must have seen that on the doors, normally we keep a keyhole. From that we can see that we can peep from that and check it out who is there outside, because we want to see that eye hole would be there, where we can see, and how many people are there standing. If suppose somebody is actually ringing the bell also, you would have to check it out that who would be there before opening the door. So it was new for her. She was finding it very difficult to live over there, because she has found whatever the things, the windows are closed and the door is always locked. So what kind of place it is? Why you have so mistrust on the other people, she wanted to ask. And no rangoli design on porch. You must have seen in India, like early morning, normally people get up from their sleep, they immediately they wash the home, and outside the, you can see main doors, they make a very nice rangoli designs. Early morning, if you go on a walk, or if you go or just jogging or something, you could have seen that the early morning the people got up and they just clean up their homes, and they put a design of rangoli, very nice colors and all, at the main entrance. So that was actually for the people to. And what does it mean of the rangoli? She is saying to say, please come in. Like we welcome the people by putting the rangoli outside of our main entrance. Like we wanted people to enter into our home. But what you people are doing? Just closing the doors, not putting any type of the design or rangoli over there. Means, in other words, she is not actually forcing on rangoli. She is forcing on not welcoming the people. She is believing that when you are closing all the doors and the windows, then how can you welcome the people? So why don't you welcome the people? Why you people want to live in a certain closed space? So it was very different for her to understand, and she was asking these questions to her son. It is not her questions actually, it is the difference in the cultures, because she has been seen here all the opening of the doors and welcoming the people any time of the day, and there she finds very different. People don't visit because they are so busy in earning money that they don't have time to visit to the others, to inquire about the others. But previously people have lot of time to discuss about the others, or you can say inquire about their own neighbors. So here she was actually getting a little bit feeling that what is the difference between these two cultures. I hope here you have understood in the introduction part that Uma Parameswaram actually belonging to Chennai or Madras. So we cannot say that she has written her own biography here. It is not like that, but we can relate her thoughts or views, you can say, because she has been from our country India, then she has been shifted to Canada. Here also she was talking about the mother who has been shifted to the western country to her son's house, and there she is finding differences. Maybe she herself wanted to show that how many differences she had seen. Maybe this is her own experience. So we can relate to her even though she never mentioned it out that it is her biography. So in the next class, we'll continue the explanation of the poem. By the time, take care, have a nice day.